Oh, okay. Put on your headset, waiting for the stream to go live. I think it's always a delay, but I like to watch. See if the delay. All right, here we go. I think, right? Ta-da! I think we are totally live. Pinky. Oh, let's see. Pinky cam is working.
Microphone's in the way.
Oh, my microphone's in the way. There we go. There's Pinky cam. All right, I think we're gonna go live here on Railroads Online. Yeah, the pre-release version, which is the winter release version 0.00000.8000, something like that. Uh, so yeah, we're gonna do a little tutorial on how to spawn trains, and yeah, I think I have a technique that kind of works out pretty good. So, oh, I start. I hear Snowball meowing in the background.
Oh,
Yeah. Snowball is that's our cat right there. The black cat on over there that way on the logo. That way on the logo. Am I lagging? I don't know if I'm lagging or not. I'm really trying to get this dialed in. Let's see how this works. It says I got a good string. There, there's Snowball. There's a Snowball sighting on Snowball Cam. All right. So anyway, let's get on with the show. Come on, Desert Charlie. What are you doing out here goofing off? All right. So anyway, yeah. Uh, Let's see. I hope it's not as blocky as my OBS is showing it. So, hey, Pinky, can you call up my stream, see if I'm going slow? See what's happening here. But anyway, yeah. So what I want to do is here I am in the big city that I've created. I haven't decorated it with all the houses and roads yet, but because I just wanted to get the industries down, so I can show you what the big map looks like.
yeah.
This is the city here. So it looks pretty cool.
Yes, you're lagging.
It is lagging. Okay,
No.
so anyway, this is the big city here. Uh, so we'll see.
Maybe 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah, but is it blocky? Is it running smooth? Let's see if I start running through the desert or the plains here. See what it looks. Oh, it looks pretty good. All right, we'll keep going. Uh, so I might as well super speed just go all the way. Because I do also want to show off my track. Notice there were no bridges on that entire line. Notice how everything is down low on the ground and it's hugging the actual ground the way a real railroad works. It takes a little extra effort to do that. And sometimes it takes me like 3 different routes. And then come back, delete it, and modify it because that's what it allows you to do. But if you notice, everything is no bridges. It's all fill. And sometimes the fill looks large, like over here. Let's take a look. This is one of my largest fills area. That's okay because there are large fills like this, and it's really not that bad. It's better than a bridge because fills are a lot more expensive. See, that's okay over there. But bridges are really expensive. So let me show you my bridge. I did put a bridge in, even though I didn't need it. It's kind of to show you there's like a river here. So this is the low part and this floods. And so I matched it with a bigger one over here, but it's only like 20 meters. So these are at 5 meter spreads. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, 25 meters on that one. The other one's 20 meters. And well, we're on the topic again. Look, all the tracks are down on the ground, flat as they can be. And again, there was another Railroads Online YouTuber who said, the yards are all messed up. There's no flat ground. Is like, are you kidding me? Come on, guys, put some work into this. Make your models good. This is all flat and straight and level, which a yard should be. That's why I chose putting the yards here. But here I did something a little interesting too. There is some low ground here, and so I did put in a drainage channel here. And it turns out that drainage channel goes across this map. I didn't know that. I just started putting in these low bridges because there's a natural drainage channel here. So there you can see off in the distance all these bridges, that these tracks. That's because I built it to the landscape. I allowed landscape to determine the railroad. I don't just, make bridges because I'm making bridges. So it seemed to make sense that there would be a river. And man, can you imagine if we had the ability to add our own little water through here? Because I could fill this in with a stream. That would be really cool. I didn't do it on this one piece here though. So I guess I could come back and delete that and add a stream there. But yeah, there's all the bridges there. And yes, there are grades. So here's an example here where I have to climb the grade to get up to the sawmill. We all have the same sawmill. And so I start from the very bottom here. And here's a trick I did. One of the tricks I did here was I came up to the top, and you see this post? I'm going to talk about that post in a minute. So remember that post. Let's call it the level post. From this point on, I had to find the high spot. And the high spot is right here. It's in all of our layouts. Right here is the high spot right here. Okay, let me put a marker. Okay, right here is the summit basically. It's the high spot. And what I did is once I found when I first laid the track, it was laying low down on the ground and I had to climb a hill to the summit there and then I would descend. But whenever you have a track that's not level, it's kind of a pain when you're trying to load because now all of a sudden, the train has got to go up and it slows down, then it goes down, and something comes uncoupled, starts rolling away. So once I found this level, I deleted the low track and I set this as the master track at level. And I ran this track as level, and you can't even tell. It looks like it's low. It's a low track, but it is level all the way out to the end of this little bridge by the water side. Yeah, because I went over the lake here a little bit to maintain the current. So right to here, put a marker. Okay, put a marker right here. Yeah, I'll put it on this side. Okay, so from this marker, let me back up a little bit. From this marker all the way to the loading dock to the summit marker, which is no longer a summit, it's level, to this marker out here, there you can see what's called the vertical curve. And maybe I need to do a whole lesson on vertical curves because I found out, uh, oh my gosh, they really, really, really utilize vertical curves. So what is a vertical curve? Well, we have to step back and look at it. There you can see it's level, and there you can see it goes down. So so what that is this is level. This is a vertical curve. Okay, a regular curve goes left and right. this, it, it can be uh, inverted or it can be convex or concave. That's a vertical curve. And in railroads online, when you're doing your grades, uh, if you if you have a piece of track like this and you go to zero to be level, if you make it long, watch what the track does. It makes a long vertical curve. There's a trick. If you lay a 10-meter piece, it flattens out right away, and then you can run your level track. And that's your vertical curve. If you make it 1 meter, it's very insane. It's like a hump. And I've seen a lot of problems with humps. I've had problems with humps. I've had to go back and redesign tracks and change the vertical curves on them. So that's some tricks. Maybe I can put some graphics on that tutorial maybe later. Put that put that up. So let's see. Oh, let's see. Do I have? I don't think I have. Um, my chat screen active. Do I? Why don't I have chat screen active? I don't know. Is anyone chatting? Oh, I know why. Hold on, hold on. Please stand by. Dun, 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 dun. No, okay, no chats. There we go. All right. I'm gonna keep going away. Top chat. Okay, so all right, well, no, let me show you my track again. I'll just because I really want to emphasize stop building bridges. Full track, the way it should be done. Okay. Oh, am I stuck? Sometimes you get stuck in track. Have you noticed that? That you'll be walking along and you get stuck? Let's say hi to John Pinkerton, John, guarding his safe. And oh, yeah, I was going to check out. He does indeed have a bottle of whiskey. Look at that. That cracks me up. Now I need a bottle of whiskey. All right. So this is, again, use fill. This is your fill track. Add your bridges as you need. And then a wall with that makes it look nice. Those are called abutments. See, this is fine. This is a good fill area here. And if you put it to scale, that's really not that big. I've stood on fill track, like exactly like that. So that's not that bad. And and you know, people would put bridges there. It's like, no, it's too expensive. But see, look at this. Oh, all right. Since this is tutorial mode, I want to show you another thing. Because you see how low this is to the ground? That's very dangerous. Because things like rocks, like that rock right there. Okay, let me show you. That rock is not a problem. But let me show you one of my tips, Desert Charley tips. Go to options, and when you go to options, go to graphics and go to foliage and set it to low. Apply the change. Oh, I should be in DirectX 12 too. Oh, requires restarted again. No, I gotta suffer with 12, 11. Okay, fine. But anyway, apply that change and go back to gameplay. That's why it's lagging. I should have figured that out. Okay, back. I'm sorry, not. Okay, here's what I did. As you see, with the foliage gone, you can see the direct ground cover. Really doesn't look that bad. I mean, the foliage is much better. But remember that rock I was showing you? It's phantom. It doesn't really exist. There's a track break right there. And this allows you to see if your ground is going over the spikes. That's what you don't want. If your ground is coming over those spikes, your train will derail. But if it's not, if it's as low as to the ground as it can be, and that is exactly as low as it can be right here. Yeah. Look, it could even come over the ties on the outside a little bit. But if it comes over those spikes, especially on the inside, then it hits the inbox and then it's goes. So see, this is what it looks like from here. So that makes it absolutely clear. I'm going to leave the foliage off for a while so you can just see the raw track, and I'll put it back on later. But here you go. Here again, I had a little problem here because there's a high spot here, but I had to add a track here. And then one of the ways you can do that, if you have a high spot, find the high spot, like right here, lay a single piece of track right here. Okay. Lay a piece here like that. Ta-da, just a small piece. And then from here, now start planning your route because this is the highest part of the hill. And and so in order to get from a high spot to a high spot, you can go there, and let's say I needed to get over, oh, this high spot right here. This is, see how big of a rise that is? So what I would do is put a piece of track here, and again, just very short, okay? By doing that, now guess what I can do? I can come in. Nope, not that one. I know there's going to be a lot of fill on that one. Get the middle fill. All right, and come down and join those two pieces. Yeah, see how it's coming down? That's going to be an almost level piece of track. Boom, there it is. So that's how I lay the track through that fill. And it's perfect. Look at that. See, right up over that ridge we go. And that fills that in. And then you could go on to the next piece, figure out where that is. Because if you do it the other way, let me show you the wrong way. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete this. Okay, let me show you the wrong way. Watch it be just fine. Okay, so this should be theoretically a level piece of track. So if we do it the wrong way, we just grab a piece of track here and we put it on straight mode. Okay. See, we can make that as long as we want. And we come in, that looks just fine. Oh, like I said, it was level. So yeah, it's too high though. See, look, that's a lot higher than it was before. So so it didn't take over. Now this piece of track won't work because I used the wrong one. But what we often see is when you're laying track, it goes into the ground like that. And see, without the plants removed, with the plants removed, you can see you can see it descend into the ground, and any ground will cause your train to derail. That's the problem right there. Oh, while I'm at it, let's show you the vertical curve. All right, so here's our piece of track. I'm going to make this super extreme. I'm just going to say, let's make it a 10-degree down. Okay, see the vertical curve right there? If it's very short, that vertical curve, your train can actually do a wheelie off that. I've derailed a train with a short vertical curve. But if you make it longer, watch what happens. It goes way out there. How come it's not descending? Because the vertical curve is much more gentle. Okay, the same thing works going up. See, there it goes. But see, the longer you make this, even though it's 10 degrees down, look what's happening. It's actually going up. That looks like about the max there. So that's the science of the vertical curve. Oop, I saw it there. Come on. Let's get it going. It's kind of funny because it does work with the landscape, by pushing it along. So see, it's right down there on the edge of the ground. Now it starts descending, but look, it's ascending out of the ground because the vertical curve is getting more and more and more. Look at that. Oh, man, I'm really doing it right there. That's a 10-degree down, but I'm going to press enter. Oh, it won't let me because I'm using the wrong piece of track. But if we turn around and look at it, look at that vertical curve there. See, it's all long and graceful. And here, if we make it just short, then it's like, oh my gosh, that's scary. Oh, yay, thank you, Pinky. She just brought me coffee. All right, let me show you that in the other way. So I know I was going to talk about spawning, but I really I'm really excited to show you about vertical curves. All right, here we go. So that's a vertical curve going up. Okay. And if I was to do a 10-degree vertical curve like right out here like this, you can see where it starts popping up. That's a long vertical curve. I should use another piece of track. Yeah, why don't I use the right piece of track? Everybody likes using the wall track for this, so I'll show you what it looks like with the wall track. All right, so now let's look what this looks like. Okay, so 10 degrees up. No, that's not a bug, but it's a new feature that if you use a new piece of track. Okay, there's the vertical curve. Look at that. And again, the longer it is, the more gentle the vertical curve is. See how it's kind of lowering at that? If you look where those trees are, it's very steep. But if you run it out farther, it actually lowers. And that's your vertical curve. So that is a graceful vertical curve because we made it so long. So if we were to measure the height right there, I don't know, let's just call it 5 meters. Okay. But if I make a short vertical curve like this, okay, make that a short vertical curve, and then I add my track onto here. Oh, watch what happens. Watch what happens. Look at that. That's almost 20 meters. I'm exaggerating, but do you see what happened? That vertical curve that we put in there like uh, that vertical curve made it such right here, made it such that it was steeper. So if you make your vertical curve longer, it's shallower. If you make your vertical curve short, then it's steeper. But you got to be careful of like passenger cars because passenger cars are really long and weird things happen and derails happen. Like I said, if it's like a ramp, it'll derail. So, all right. So let's delete all this because I don't want to keep this on my railroad. Did I put a piece of track up there? Let's see. Let's just check. I don't think so. Nope, that was clear. That was clear. All right, let's get to the other tutorial. So there you go. Hope that helps. Let me know in the comments. Even though there's a live stream, you can always make comments if you're watching this video. Uh now would be a good time to actually hit that like and subscribe button because I don't know if you like it. I don't know if you don't, but if you do, yeah, give a like and subscribe because I'm just getting started at streaming and I'm trying to be a helpful member of our Railroad online community. I'm having fun doing this. I'm more of a modeler than a gamer, and so that's why I'm doing this modeling. See, I'm trying to keep my tracks low coming out here to the farm. There's I put these will stop a train, by the way. You just put a rail there and it'll stop a train, derail it maybe, but look at all these tracks. All these tracks are low to the ground. I I just recently watched a guy, a YouTuber, just use bridges through this whole thing, through this flat territory. He had bridges like 3 meters high bridge. And I put it in the comment section. I said, yes, it is an open sandbox. You can do whatever you want. But no, don't do that. And here's another case too. where my vertical curve here, check this out. Even though it's down on the ground, I put a marker here when I was doing my survey because look at the ground. The ground was starting to impinge, but it didn't go over the right here. Yeah, see right here? The ground is under the rail, but it didn't go over the spikes. So I put a marker there to test a train on it. And and it cleared. That was fine. So that was part of my test. So I can get rid of this marker, but they're my survey markers. I use them for surveying. Uh, they're a lot of fun. Oh, one of the other markers I like to use too is if I use this one, the crossing one. I put this as a survey marker because you can see it from really far away, but it's sometimes hard to see the track. So if you put a survey marker like that out there, see, you put that way out there, then I head for that and then I delete it like that. All right. Still not to the place where I told you where I clickbaited the article. I don't know why I have this there. I just do. Oh, also if you lift this up, if you make there's a I've seen the real one. I'm actually gonna go on a field trip this summer to Laws, California, which is home of the real turntable of this. And I'm gonna show everybody the real turntable. So hopefully that'll be fun. All right, now for the subject at hand. Fa, fa, fa. Everybody knows this is the spawn station. There are three tracks that spawn, but right away you'll see I did something different. So track number, let's call this track three, track two, and track one. These are where you spawn cars. And what do I mean do you spawn cars? Well, when you go to, let's do it. Let's spawn some cars. We can always spawn the most popular stake flats. This game uses so many stake flats. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I'm going to spawn one. There it is. But look what's happening. It's on a grade. Let's do the spawn two. And I have two techniques. I have the one at a time technique, and then I have the six at a time technique. Well, I'm just going to show you the six at a time technique right now because I want to show you how fast this is. See, once you get used to clicking, you just spawn all six. Hopefully I'm not in the way. I better stand up on the dock. Okay, so there's three. We're halfway there. So see, I can go very quick. Order. Don't even don't even look. Just keep ordering. Desert Charley. Keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. Oop, too far. Back one. Order another one. There we go. Okay, two more to go. Oh no, one more to go. One more to go. Let's see how fast that is. Boom. Order that one. All right, look. We got six cars. Now, here's how fast it goes. On the downhill side, I put a pin and a link and a pin, and I release the brake. And here's what happens. It rolls into place. And then when it's on this car here, I stand here waiting for it to come to me and put the pin in. And now watch. I love this trick. Now I release this one and away it goes. Okay, I won't worry about the pin on that one because that's the master car. Now you can't put a link and pin in because now what I'm going to do is as those are getting out of the way, I'm going to re-rail this one, put that on the track, and I don't have to do it two at a time. I'll do all of them all at once here. the hit area of these are really weird. Come on, guys, make it easier. There we go. Okay. All right, let's put this one on, and then I spawn into it. That's re-rail. If you have any hints and tips of how to hit that hitbox, let me know. Okay, so that one is there. And then look at that. This is the last one. This is so fast. Okay, re-rail this one. Oh, did it too early. Now on the last car, I like to make sure that the brake handle is on the ends. I don't care about the middle cars. And so now what I do is I go, excuse me, I go to each car, put in a loop or a link, put in a link, put in a pin. Next car, always on the downhill side. And it really doesn't matter. I just made that as a personal rule so I don't forget. Okay. And those two are already down there. And so now I release the brake on here like that. And away it goes. And away it goes. Yep. And so this is, believe it or not, there is a real life sort of equivalent of this. And it's called a hump yard. So let's release this one. No engine in sight. I mean, a handcart, yeah, but no engine in sight. By putting a 3% grade on track number 3, I can make this all work. And they don't slam that hard that they damage the car. Luckily, there's no damage. Well, they don't derail. Okay, so yes, they will kind of do this. They will separate a little bit, but after a while, they settle down and they all come together. And then I walk to each car and I just put a pin in the uphill side and voila, done. 6 cars, just like that. Fast, quick, and they're assembled and linked, waiting for a train. I could actually do 6 more, and they will stack up behind this one too. And it's very easy. So that's how I make 12, 24 of those longs. So let me show you the structure here. Um, I do use the fill because you can walk up the fill. If you use wall, you can't walk up the wall. So it's pain. You can't walk up wall. Now, you use fill until the fill is almost on the track, and then you have to use wall because otherwise the fill would cover the track. So, and there's my vertical curve. So in the real world, what they do is they would push cars all the way up the hump yard, get to the top of the hump yard here, and they would use an automatic uncoupler, or they would have a brakeman uncouple it, and the cars then go down into a sorting yard. So I didn't model a hump yard. I just modeled my quick technique for for showing how I assemble these spawn cars so fast. Because in this model, I'm going to call it a model. I'm going to put hundreds of cars out here with only 5 engines. So it a lot of people have like 30 engines and a few cars. I'm doing the opposite. I'm making it like a class 1 railroad. All right, so let's take a quick tour, a good old running hyper tour. Because again, I want to show you low tracks, and I'm keeping the landscape off. I mean the foliage, so you can see the raw landscape. You can really try this trick; it really helps. And see, look at that. I pride myself in keeping it as low as possible. And this is okay. A fill is okay. Railroads use fills. But bridges, no. Do I need this bridge? No, I don't. But doesn't that look real? Oh, look up there at the top, at the mountain. What is up there, Desert Charlie? Uh, let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see. Okay, what is up there? What is up there is my fire lookout. Let's take a quick tour up. No, no, let's not do the quick tour. All right. Let's continue down the track. So again, use short bridges because that's what they use in real life. Bridges are expensive and maintenance wise, they are annoying. Now, looking at this, I could lower this. You see that how that's rised? I'm okay with that. That's a good fill. But you see, there's a vertical curve here. There's a vertical curve, and it comes up this, and if there's a vertical curve up, you need a vertical curve down. And when I first laid this, I what I do is I just lay the track and then I tweak this. So maybe we'll come back to this track and we'll do it in real time. All right. Because it looks like I'm way up in the air here, and it looks like I could lower this quite a bit. You must be crazy, Desert Charlie. You don't need to lower that at all. Yes, yes, I do. That's my challenge. That's how I play the game. Again, it's a sandbox. You can do it whatever you want. If you want bridges online or roller coaster online, you can do that. But to me, my challenge is to lower this down and make that. Wow, this is all way up here too. Where's the highest point? Probably right about here. Right, maybe right about here. Am I worried about this is okay? This is a good high point here. This is the return loop back to the farm. So I'm just going to check this. I'm okay with that. This is a good low point. This is good low. I'm okay. I'm kind of okay with this. Ooh. Oh my God. Tree patrol. Tree patrol. Look at that. I haven't even, that's how fresh this track is. I haven't even done tree patrol.
What?
Pinky cam.
What?
What do I have here? Exactly. Tree Patrol. I always say I need to make a Tree Patrol song, because I always do Tree Patrol, especially those little trees. Oh my gosh. So I'm okay with this side being okay. Well, this is level here. This has to be level for the loading area. So I don't know how much lower I'm gonna go with that. But all of this, that looks like it could be lowered. Uh, So maybe I'll come back to that and we'll make this all lower. And don't be afraid to nuke it because you can nuke it and start putting new track and sometimes new answers come when you do that. But anyway, not right now. Uh, let's continue the tour. We're coming through the valley. If you go straight ahead, you will end up in the lake. Okay, see, we're pointing this direction. There's a good reason to use the map too when you're doing your planning your routes. Because if I turn the and I'm looking at the mountain there, and then I go to the map, look at there. See the arrow is pointing right at the map. So you can use this map as part of your planning tool uh, at the same time. You can use that as as a tool. So anyway, let's go through the why here. Why is it a why? Well, let's take a look. All right, let's go to where I am at. So, okay, this is I call it the farmhouse Y. And so this is the track where we're at right now. That was the return loop where I found those trees. This is the part we just came on. And so this is a Y here. And this Y allows us to go to the coal mine, which is up here, or down to the lake loop, which uh, I've done some goofy things there too. So let's check out first the the coal mine. Now I've seen lots of guys build these huge bridges going to the coal mine. Well, guess what? You don't need to do that. You only need one bridge. I hugged the cliff here, and this is one of my tricks too. So here is in this trick, this is a 310 radius at 2.5 degrees up. I would put minus if it was down. And so that's this piece of track. And why did I do that? Well, this one I'll do in real time to show you. Uh, this needs a drainage here. If water is the enemy of track, and so there's no place for all the rainwater coming off this ridge to come down here and drain. This would make a lake and it would actually drain right here. It would fill up and it would wash out this piece of track right here. Believe it or not. That's how it would wash it out because this is the downhill side. So we could fix that. This is by eliminating that piece. Boom. Oh my God, Desert Charlie, what did you do? Well, I remembered it's 310 by 2.5. So let's do a test. Let's rebuild this. Let's have a place for the water to go. So if we go straight, see, that doesn't work. So 310. There's 380, 50, 40, 20. There's 310. But look, it doesn't, it goes into the ground. Huh. Yep. See, it goes into the ground. How do we know? Because we have the foliage turned off. And look, yep, that ain't going to work. Oh, but 2.5. So 1, that buys us a little more. See, you can do this too. It's like, oh, okay, well, that's not good. Let's add 1 more degree. All right. See what's happening? It's taking us farther. Let's add 1 more degree. Not quite yet. Let's add 1 more degree. 2, 2 degrees? Nope. And what did we say it was? We said it was 2.5. And lo and behold, see, by taking that note and writing that, it comes in perfect right there. Now, I've done a test. I don't recommend this. I've done a test where I have actually just manually joined two pieces of track like this because they're perfect, and it does work. You don't have to link them using that link, but I don't recommend it. I really don't because it's a little scary. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, again, uh, I usually use a 10 or 20 meter retaining wall. So I can measure this. That's 5 meters, 7, 10, 10.1, close enough. All right. So it's already pre-programmed in. So there's 10 meters right there. I'm going to put in a 20-meter bridge. I can use any kind of bridge. And I can measure this out using the thing there. And when you make it within multiples of 5, oh, 20 meters exactly, boink. Look what happens. See, it makes the 5, 10, 15. It's actually right on 5 because that was perfect. So let me make it uh let me make it we want that other thing there. So let's make it like 20.2. But the beams are exactly 5 meters. Hey, if that's new information to you, press that like button. All right, so let's do this. Let's walk this one out. And let's walk it out to, because if you walk it out, you can be very precise. So yeah, see 20.2. Let's make it 20.5 right there. Boom. There it is. See, there's that last piece. And I guess if you make it a little longer, it fills that out, but we don't need it because we're going to add a 10 meter. This was 10 meter. We're going to add another 10 meter brick wall. Okay, 10-meter brick wall. 10.1 doesn't matter. I'm being anal about this. 10.1. Oop, 9.9 doesn't matter. All right, so let's see what that looks like. There we go. Uh, yeah. Oh, there's a vertical curve here because there is that problem that oh, this is a problem. I'm gonna do this all over again. Because when you add a new piece of track, it used to remember regardless of the track you did, it used to remember your grade settings. And now it doesn't. I don't know why, but now it doesn't. See, look, it's zero. It's zero again. So I have to reprogram 2.5. All right. And I'm gonna go take this bridge out a little farther. So we're gonna put that there because we want the river to flow down here. All right. So now I'm gonna do this in fast mode. Watch this. Boom. I went slower before. Now see, look, it's zeroed again. So there's going to be a vertical curve because I don't know if that's a bug, but it's definitely not a feature I like. So I'm going to put this at 10, 10.2. That's fine. Come out here. This is how fast I lay a bridge. Once you have that radius known, you can just come in here and click it and it looks really good. Okay, 20.5, I guess I'll make it 21. 21, why not? Let's make that one. Does that look better? No, it's still a skinny piece, but yeah. So yeah, 20.2 would work fine. I don't care. It's close enough. But see what I had to do? I had to reprogram. Now, if I put this one is, does it go to zero or does it do 2.5? It goes to zero again. So again, another vertical curve. So you have to reprogram that every time you lay a new piece of track. All right, this was going to be 10, 10.8, 10, 10 exactly. There we go. All right, let's see how that looks now as a bridge. Much. I'm seeing a vertical curve. Grr! Yep, look, vertical curve down and a vertical curve up because fat chance a dev is watching this, but man, let's delete this one too. And again, you can't run up these walls, but you can run up the sand, the fills. So I use the fills too. So see there's that same dang bug because I was in fast mode, so I wasn't paying attention. So see there it's zero again. So up 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5. There we are. Okay, and what did I put it at? I had it at 21. We're gonna make this 20.2. 20.5, that's fine. But see now no vertical curve. Yeah, I could actually see it. I can see it straight now. So we go here and oh look, it remembered it this time. This time it says 2.5. Make that 10, 10.1, close enough. And now, just to prove to you that all this math still works fine, we put in our fill. And don't be afraid to use that third one. See, it's zeroed out again. Zero. But we're going to make that 2.5. I sometimes run under it. And look at that. Look at that. With all those track changes, the track lines up perfectly. Like I said, I have actually done this where I've clicked it in place and it doesn't derail the train, but I'm not going to do that. So this is where you would press the 5 key. You get the link. You click that in. It's not as perfect as if you laid that in, but it's close enough. Meaning it's when I say it's not that perfect, the radius here is different than the radius there. And you can actually use railroad.studio and it'll circularize that. But I don't care. That looks fine to me. Let's take a look from the hill, see what that looks like. So there you go. Now I have my realistic bridge. Probably should have been over here more, but close enough. And I did that just by making a note when I laid out the track that it was a 310 radius, 2.5. All right. So let's continue the tour. Now here, Here I did have to put a larger fill, and I really don't like leaving trees. The little trees I like, okay, but I don't like leaving the big ones in the fill. But for right now, I don't care. But here, look at this. Looks normal. You can't even tell. But if we come down here, there's a big bridge. And this bridge I just put a piece of track here because you can clear, there's no collision boxes here. I just put this here for future use because this actually goes up to the oil field. But I have a track servicing that already. So I just put it in there as a reminder. Uh, that's what it is. All right, so let's line back up here. Let's do a quick run. Again, keeping low. I used to have the track way out there in the middle of the valley, and it was a huge fill. And and then I came back later, and I rerouted it upside of this valley. And I've seen a couple other YouTubers do that too. Oh, there's a vertical curve that looks kind of ugly. Yeah, do you see it? Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. It's smooth enough. That's not that ugly, so it's okay. If they're really sharp, it'll cause a derailment. But yeah, no, this was a huge honking bridge. I lowered it to a smaller bridge because again, there's a drainage here. If you can see the landscape where it drains, then that's where you use your bridges because water is the enemy of truck. So we're coming through this rocky territory. Here's another drainage here. There's another territory. I don't know why I put this one here, but it was fine. It's another drainage. Now again, low down to the ground. And when you turn all the foliage on, this was high. My first track was very, very high. And then I came out here, and my favorite way of making a yard is putting a left and then right, 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 right. And that makes a big yard. So did another low track again. I just put in a drainage because, why not? I didn't need it, but and this is such a broad curve. You could hit that at uh 22 km or miles per hour. I think it's actually km. All right, so you come down here. This goes to the side, but here, what I did here is I did a right and then left, 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 left. Now, when you do that, this is the shortest track. This is the next shortest. This next longest, and this is the longest when you do that type of a track. Uh, what's going on here? Why the heck are these sandbags down here? Wait, why is there a double one down here? So when I'm loading up the ore cars, instead of using when I first started playing the game, I started using all these posts, to mark my position and all along the track. And it kind of to me looked a little ugly. I didn't like it. So what I did is I started using these sandbags, and these sandbags sit on the ground, and it doesn't look like a picket fence. And when you're in the train, there we go. And when you're in the train and you're looking down at it, this is the gap between two cars. Okay, so this is where that gap would be. Uh, uh, disconnect, reconnecting. Wait, what happened? Oh, I guess I'm back. Don't know what happened there, but I'm back. Uh, so what I would do is I would come here and go to sack. When you press sack, on this side there's writing. It says potatoes because it's a potato sack. On this side there's none. So use the number 2 key and you can tilt that. If you use the number 8 key, you can put the writing up. Or if you use the number 2 key, you can put the writing down. And so what I do is I line that up where it's between, and this has a huge hitbox, so don't put it in the track. You have to put it off the track. And even right here is a little risky, but it would work. And then you can put that down on the track. And then so what I do is I put the cars where they need to go, and then I just walk along and go click, click, walk along each car and put an indicator there. And see, now I have my indicators there, but I'm not going to leave those. Nope, nope, nope. But I don't need them here. There's no reason for them to be here. And it could cause you got to be, like I said, you got to be careful. If you put them at the end here, it's fine. It works pretty good. All right, let me show you my other tip. The other tip that I've done is I've used a platform on the platform. So instead of standing at the cars, I just come up to these platforms, and then I come up here and I use the pole chute, and I load the car manually by doing this trick, the back and forth. And when you see one of those balls drop, that's a complete load uh, of the coal. But what's this? This is a rail. This is a piece of rail. And that flat marker tells me where the drop will be. And that's artificial. I added that. So again, how did I do that? I came into the track here, and see, that's a standard piece of rail. But again, if you use the 2 key, or in this case, the 8 key, you can make your own indicators. Look at that. See, like just like that. I could put like 1 and 2 where it's like, okay, lift up to there, drop down to there. I'm not gonna do that, but you could. You could do all kinds of weird stuff with these. Ouch. But you got to remember, you can't. They're not phantom. They are solids. Some things are phantom, but these are not. They'll stop an entire train. Uh, you could you could actually derail a whole train with one of these. Oh, that's rotation. Okay, that's rotation. That's the 4, 5, and 6 key. Okay, that's up. And your grid, if it's 100, it really runs around. So you want it that at 1, so you can get fine measurements at that. So what you could do is watch this. Uh, let's let's raise this back up. So like I could make my own. Put one there. Use this. Excuse me. Use the same tie. Put one there. And now watch this. We can come across like this, and we can make our own barrier. And that would indeed stop a train. There we are. See? Well, that's a little wonky. I wouldn't go with that, but watch this. Oh, I go right through it. I just lied. But but yeah, these would stop a train on their hitboxes. Sorry, I'm coughing so much. I'm talking. Oh, and Pinky brought me some coffee. So there's Mm. Thank you for bearing with me. All right. So that's a couple tutorials about, the industries and loading equipment up and modifying. I like this one here. This was, again, using the 2 key and the 8 key, you can tilt these platforms, and you can do some crazy stuff with these. And so I kind of like that. I just kind of made my own thing here. All right, so let's continue the tour. We'll go down on the flat track here. Whee! All right, up and over. We'll just go down the valley here. This looks really good in the snow too. Oh my God, it looks so good with the tracks down low like this on the snow. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, we'll cross the big bridge. Yes, you can use bridges. I'm not against bridges. I'm just against roller coasters. Roller coaster online. There's our new bridge that I created with you, my sacred viewers. All right, let's see. So we're back to the Y. So we came in from that direction. This is the direction we came from. So let's, for orientation, let's continue down the track. Oh, see, this I don't like. I try to keep trees, but I don't like when they grow in the fill. So that one had to go. All right, so this is a 3% grade down. And again, I saw another YouTuber just build this huge girder bridge all the way down this. I'm like, come on. It takes a little more curves, which is real. That lowers your grade, but you can do it. And once you do this, you can actually come back and optimize it. I haven't done this. This is not optimized. This is my original track coming down. And then it comes down here. And then I have this long, I think it's 2% grade. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, there it is here. This is the long straight of the 2% grade here, coming all the way down to the lake. So so with the lake, uh, of course, what's at the lake is the dredge. I love this straight track. It's literally like going through Spokane, Washington, or Washington area. Here's another why. Why? Because it's needed. And then it levels off. When it gets down to here, it goes level. And then it stays level all the way across the lake. So I did put in a guardrail bridge. Hope they give us some more bridges. But I like guardrails over water. And man, there was a bush right here that derailed my train. You got to watch out for these bushes. This is a solid bush with a hitbox, and it will take out your train. So I had one there, and I was like, "Oh no, I'll clear it." Nope. It actually cleared the cars, but the snowplow hit it. The snowplow is a lot wider, has a larger hitbox. So here we are coming up on the dredge, and voila, we are here. There's a lot of fun things you can do with this dredge. You can actually ride the buckets up. So you can sit here and let's see. Can I? Don't make a liar out of me. Here, here we go. Here we go. Nope, wait. There we go. This is really scary. What's going to happen? You'll have to find out for yourself. It's pretty funny. So, run, get out of there. So I got my first load of coal in here. Yay. There's my first load of coal. So it does take pipe and then it loads the gold ore. I hope they fix this gold ore texture to at least look like the coal. It looks pretty good. I hope they fix that. But let's continue a tour of the lake side here. Again, low track, keep it low. Once you're on level ground, you can modify your track. Just go down low, even if you have to use a vertical curve. And then once you're level, you're level. Oh, best way to do that is simply there's two tricks to do. Oh, I got to be in first person. There's two tricks to do that. One, simply just drop any switch point. Look at that. See? That's what I've done. It's right at the perfect level. So that's one way to do it is just drop a switch and you're automatically at ground level. The other way is drop a temporary truss bridge like that. And for some reason, I think it's a little lower. Boink. There you go. And then once you run your track, your master track out, then you come back and just delete this. There you go. And then you're now down at ground level. And if it's level ground, which developers made, then you're good to go. So here we coming into the yard. To the right goes the cordwood. Then I have a passing siding because I may run a passenger down here around the lake. And then I have a little logging train here with a little tank engine because it doesn't have to go far. The White Sky Railroad, that's engine number 2. I have 2 tank engines and 5 K-27s. So we come back around here, around the lake. Again, try not to use bridges. You saw I used some, but this, I added the lumber mill back there. I mean the lumber camp. I added that. And then I added the stamp mill here because, oh my God, this came out so perfect. The stamp mill requires like a cliff to be built on. And this, look how perfect this came out. Feel free to copy this if you want on your layout. Uh, this location of the stamp mill, because look how perfect this came out. It is like it was built for this place right here. And it's okay to have 2 stamp mills, one in the high country and one in the low country there. Because, yeah, look at that. They did all the modeling. It came out perfect. All right, here's the loading platform. And I delivered some coal in there. The doors are still open, I guess. Here's the coal pile here. We need to put an office back here. Let's see. Come in here. Grab me. Oh, that's weird. Ah, doesn't have a hit section on the floor. No. Oh, that kind of sucks. Uh, yeah, I can't put a chair back here. I would have to put I'd have to put a piece of ground down. Nope, that's not even slidable. I'm gonna put an office. I guarantee you, I'm gonna make it work. Just not now during the stream. I'm gonna put it. Should I put an office back there? Yeah, I think so too. All right. All right, let's carry on with the tour. I got so excited about that. You can look at the animations of that. Other YouTubers will show you that. And then I did put a water here because it's next to a lake and the stamp mill needs water. And so I'll have a little tank engine just run water back and forth. Is it cheating? Well, yes and no. Yes, if you're trying to make money, but I'm not trying to make money. I don't care about the money. I'm trying to model operations. Oh, this was weird. Uh, I went in and I deleted this, and it actually spawned away, but it left this remnant and it's phantom, so I'm not worried about it. But it was kind of weird because if I didn't spawn it out, it would have been a derail. I really love this location for the pond here, for the next lumber mill, because the logs just line up perfectly and it looks like it's supposed to be here. So I really love the lumber mill here. Yeah, I'm not gonna make a Donald Trump joke. I'm just not. I'm not. It's a mushroom. It's a mushroom. That's what it is. It's a Stormy Daniels thing. Oh, forgive me. Sorry. All right, let's carry on. Oh, don't get political. Beams. So I've already ran a couple loads here to get beams, and so another way you can do this is model a second company. You can model like Bolt Lumber and Stemple Lumber. So you can have two different companies. And oh, I hate doing this. I hate putting these switches back to back. I'm probably going to come in here and separate that one uh, very soon because I don't like doing that. So anyway, we're back to the Y, to the lake. So that's a return. You can just go round and round and round, which I'll probably take a passenger and build. The little saplings, I don't mind as long as they're not too close because it's like, okay, it took seed in the fill. So along the long track here, this is an area yet to be developed. If we look at the map, I have not developed anything around here. But I want to show you an Easter egg. Okay, I want to show you a developer Easter egg that I haven't seen any other YouTuber talk about. So you heard it here first, folks. All right, let's go down there. The wild country here. There's nothing here. No tracks yet. Because I've yet to go up to the high country, and I'll probably do it from this direction. Because I'm going to go around Lookout Mountain. See the lookout up there? There's the lookout right up there. Uh, I built a lookout up there. Because if you go to Wikipedia and you type fire lookout, you'll see Desert Charlie's picture. Yep, that's me. All right, here we come. So I did put a telegraph station here when I did my exploring. And here is the station, the default station. Now look, the default station is nice. They don't have any plants because I don't have foliage turned on. And they could fix that by adding a foundation to the station to bring it above the plants. And and the floor would raise because when you add the plants back in, and let me do that. Let me show you exactly because if the developers are watching this, which I doubt they are, uh, here's my free advice. So I'm going to go back in to options. I'm going to go to the graphics. I'm going to go back to Epic. Oop, not Fi. Epic. Apply those changes. Go back, continue, and now we have the epic grass. I really love the Unreal Engine for this. This is really beautiful. And if we go into the Railway Express Agency, which is on a raised foundation, the floor is fine. It looks good. This is how it should be. But if we go down the ramp, there's grass growing in the wood. You see it? There's grass. Because it's not on a foundation. And in some cases, I can show you another case. It's very, very bad. Look at that. See, there's grass under the benches. There's grass everywhere. I've actually seen grass coming through the benches. So this is the developer's implementation of the location. But you guys can fix it. All you have to do on all the buildings is have a raised foundation, raise that floor level up to here, which a real building would have. And if you raise the whole thing, then the grass would be invisible. But are you ready for the Easter egg? You, you can see, I can see it in the distance. It's right there. This caught my eye, and I was like, "What is that?" So I went walking out there. I was walking out there, walking out there, walking out, just enjoying my day, dreaming, thinking of all kinds of stuff. And then all of a sudden, I see this little pile here. And what do my eyes see in that pile? Let's look. It's ants. I hope I don't get bit. Yeah, that would be bad. All right. Yeah, look, there's actually a little Easter egg. It's the only one. You could probably delete it, but I don't want to. I think it's so cool. So now we live in a world where we have 42 cows, three people, and 800 ants. Isn't that cool? It looks like it's in a pile of dung. It doesn't look like a anthill. It looks more like a cow patty. But yeah, there's ants out here. That's the only one, and it's at the default station. Uh, there's another YouTuber who also said, "Please allow us to make our own signs." Instead of using the this sign, like I want to call it my town, okay, whatever. So instead of on all the buildings, I would actually ask on all the buildings, let us make our own signs. Put text down there because there we go. See, because I don't I love the Silverton station, but there's only one Silverton station. But I want to put my own town name up there. I'm just going to leave that for now. Okay, what else can I show? I think I want to go back to the main big city because since we're oh, come on, maybe. Okay. DirectX 11 is slower than 12. Well, it's rendering everything right now because this is a huge area. So it's taken a while to load and render everything. That's pretty good, but it does take a while when you add lots of stuff. And like I said, DirectX 12 is faster. But this is my engine shop area here. I got my snowplow, and this is tank engine number two. No, that's number one. And so I only have two tank engines, and I have five K27s that sit there in the roundhouse. Then I got hundreds of, man, it's really laggy. I got hundreds of cars that go into this huge yard that can take trains of up to 30 cars long. Uh, but what I wanted to show you here in this part of the country, man, that is lagging really bad, is there's my other K27 loading up beams. What I want to do is show you in here this Silverton station. See, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. And this happens almost everywhere players deploy these stations. It's it looks really, really bad. And that would be solved if you added a raised foundation uh, that would clear the plants. And and this is fine too. You could still keep this. Just raise the entire building on a foundation, and then it would look like this. This is exactly what I'm talking about. If if all the floors had a raised foundation, you wouldn't get this plant artifact in here like this. Because that's kind of world breaking. You guys go to all this trouble to make these awesome interiors. You just need to do one more little thing. Just raise, raise the floor, just like this. This platform is raised, so no weeds. And I don't know why it's so laggy again, but I'm gonna go back to turning the plants off. So options, graphics, go back to low, apply those changes, back, continue. And is that better? Maybe. Let's hope. A little. Might be something else going on. Again, low tracks. I can always lower them more, but I'm satisfied with this fill level. Here's a case where I had to go up the hill in order to climb to get to the water well. Because see right here, this is the summit of the hill here. And so this is where I started with a piece of track way up here. Oh, look, foliage is off, but that's weird. Foliage is off, but I have some foliage. Are these deletable? Are they real? Huh. Custom planted flowers? Maybe over here too, because they weren't triggered. Okay, so I just discovered something. That's new to me. That's very new. But anyway, you can see here with the ground level, uh, I had to start from this part right here, and that's as low as I could make it, and then I just used the piece of track going there to descend. And this is a lot higher because then we descend down this direction. And then once we descend down this direction, we go downhill. I did put in a drainage over here because it just made sense that there would be a drainage here. And then, oops, it's lagging again. I don't know why. Then we go down and I love this part. This is about as flat as I could make it. But it was level and it was good. Oh yeah, these branches. So I think these are actual objects. Watch this. Let's try one. So we come in and delete it. Nope, that seems to be okay. But sometimes I delete it and a ghost of it disappears. Like like this one. Let's see if it works on this one. That's the same model as the other one. So let's see if I can replicate that phenomenon. No, no, no. Oh, they may have fixed it. Because what I would do is I would click it and it would roll over like a rock, but then the piece would still remain. As long as it's phantom, I don't care. If it's real, then that's a problem. Like that's a real rock. All right, there's my there, this train is kind of special. Let me oh, man, this is getting blocky. It's all stabby. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, this is my train, which is uh 456 is going to the oil country. So it has three box cars of tools. It's got six flat cars of pipes, and I think it's got eight flat cars of beams. And that's gonna run up to the on another episode. I like to preload all the trains and get them going. So we're back at John. I could really use this whiskey right now for my throat. Oh, hey buddy, got any whiskey? But yeah, all of a sudden this got a little laggy since I transported over to the big city here. So I think what I'm gonna do is end the stream here and thank you for joining me. I hope these tutorials help. Uh, Again, you can play the game any way you want. It's an open sandbox, but I'm doing it as a modeler, so I'm kind of trying to make it as realistic as possible, as less bridges because they're so expensive as possible. And as you can see, across the whole land, and very few bridges that are needed. So if you like if you like what you saw, please give me that wonderful like and subscribe button on there. And thank you for joining another Desert Charley Railroads Online live stream. Uh, Hope you enjoyed it. I had fun making it. I added a new bridge in your presence. And we'll run freight later because today was all about infrastructure, being a track lane guy. So there we go. This is so laggy. I'm having so much issues right now. Oh, I got to be in the first person again. Can't wait for the new version to come out when we can we can throw switches from the mini map. Okay, there's first person view. Go to the map. Yeah, that'll be good when we can do that. All right, thanks everybody. And boy, I am falling apart. It's a good time I am ending this stream. Oh, the comedy of it all. Let's see, where do we go? What buttons do we press? I'm old. Oh, I remember. It's this one. All right. Bye.